Good night, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. Today is Tuesday, the 4th day of February 2020. And of course, the new year is upon us and it's rolling full steam ahead. No more Happy New Year, it's February, folks. But anyway, as usual, I'd like to say hello to all the fans in the diaspora, all the Keeping It Real fans, and all of you all over St. Lucia, and especially, of course, somebody else came up to me today, said, "Hey, I love the show." T. Rocher in Castries. Of course, all the messages are popping up here. Thank you to the internet. Hey, I'm here. Well, good night to Bagatelle, George Cooper Road. Good night to Babono. I haven't given you all a shout in a while. Babono, good night to you. Sunny Acres, Bonte, Cap Estate, Tupatu, St. Lucie, Canal, Anslaway, Market Street. Good night to you. How y'all doing over there? Hope y'all save some barbecue and some stuff for me. Yeah, you know who you are. Good night to the crew. There's such a following in Ancillary. I have to say good night to all the guys down there in Ancillary. Good night to you, and thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you following the show every week religiously, although some of you do go to church, but you know what I mean. Atlanta, Georgia, Toronto, Canada. I just got a message from Toronto in the house. Well, you know, I'm not gonna get too caught up with everybody, because everybody knows that the love is flowing. You know, keep it real. That's right here. But you know, there's all the excitement all over the place, folks. You know, Corona! Well, not the bear, but the virus. Coronavirus. People spreading rumors, propaganda, lies, all kind of things. People putting pressure, people saying all kind of things. You can imagine. Bize, good night to you. I see you in the house. But of course, St. Lucia, just like every other country in the world, is observing what is going on, because we're a little bit removed from China, the epicenter of this whole outbreak. But well, we all heard about what happened on the weekend with the cruise ship, and of course our medical personnel and those responsible for taking the necessary actions did the right thing. They did the right thing. And second guessing by some of the unqualified experts out there, you know, they all have experts, you know, the Facebook experts. Oh my gosh. Viewfort, good night. The experts on Facebook, they have not done a single day. You pass a member lave Fiji yourself. They can't even use soap. But they have all the advice in the world on how to deal with a virus. The experts. Yeah, all kind of experts. But anyway, our officials did what needed to be done. They followed the protocol. And people say, oh, well, this country did this. How come we are doing that? Different countries have varying risk levels. They have varying considerations. Everybody is not doing the same thing at the same time. You have to look at your particular circumstances, the resources that you have available, how far away you are from all of what's going on, and you have to evaluate the situation and come to a conclusion on what you're going to do. And in St. Lucia last week and before and even now, it's not just the government or just not the Minister of Health or the Chief Medical Officer. You have personnel from all the relevant agencies, with Customs, Immigration, Port Authority, Ministry of Health, Tut Kaltemun. You've seen the stories on the news, you've seen the photos. Why am I going to belabor that? But some people out there, they have all the, as usual, the brain box ideas on what the government should do. But they have all the advice in the world. all the advice for coronavirus. A brand new virus that nobody else has seen in humans before. But they have all solutions. I'm sure you saw the video, some dummy out there. And then, you know, our people are so quick to share nonsense without even thinking about it. Showed you somebody with a can of insect spray or something. It says coronavirus. But the idiot, because it is an idiot who will put something like that out there, and those who shared it are idiots too. Because they put it out there, not one of them spraying themselves with it. There are 7 different types of coronavirus. 7. The one which has taken the world by storm now is the last one in China. Novel means new. But as usual, all sorts of idiots will take any opportunity to try to scare the bejesus out of people. But anyway, talking about scaring people, doom and gloom, and all sorts of nonsense. You know, how do I start with this one? That's the thing, folks. How do I start, or how do I begin with this one? You know, let me just go here. A letter made it into the news last week on online newspapers, on radio, on TV, from none other than, hold on here, yeah, Dr. Kenny Anthony. Yeah. I'm not going to let these things pass up, folks. It's too glaring, it's too blatant, it's too ridiculoso to allow to pass under the radar. Because if you don't deal with these things, too many people out there believe the nonsense, the shenanigans, the lollygagging, the BS, the 3 B's principling. So I have a letter here, and Dr. Kenny Anthony put out a letter here. I don't know, somebody from Atlanta, Georgia messaged me and said there's nothing on Facebook. I don't know. Don't make me come and stop the show and come inside there, guys. Get it going. Maybe it's them, but I don't know. If you're out there in Facebook land, send me a message. Toronto. I don't know. Anyway, it's a letter addressed to Mr. Edmund Regis, the general manager of WASCO. And he says, "Dear Mr. Regis," and it's dated January the 28th. "Dear Mr. Regis, I refer to and thank you for your invitation to attend the sod turning ceremony purportedly to mark the commencement of the construction of WASCO's new Southern Services headquarters in my constituency, Viewfort South, on January the 30th, 2020. My investigation," Sherlock Holmes, "my investigations indicate that up to the present time, no drawings have been submitted to the DCA of the proposed building. In effect, you have invited me to an event to construct a building for which no approved plans or drawings are available. It is deeply troubling and regrettable that WASCO has chosen to emulate the actions of the government, which holds sod turning ceremonies for proposed projects when no approved plans for such projects exist." Let's pause that right there. Come back to me. Let me just go over that there. That WASCO has chosen to emulate the actions of the government, which holds sod turning ceremonies for proposed projects when no approved plans for such projects exist. Let me take you back down memory lane for just a little bit there, folks. You all remember February the 21st, 2016? when there was a big bluff. Naming ceremony of a hospital, remember that? The day before independence, 2016. Naming of the OKEU hospital, Plaktut Bagay, Maze language. I don't know what, almost the same time as now. Passion fruit juice, yo boy. Pigs in a blanket who have, say, by lucky vo play at the bacon, bako. Anti-sausage, sausages. Anti-sausage. Anti-divin, anti-by. Jig Dr. King take a danser on last stage. Naming ceremony, $100,000. Fuck! You pon light la. But here we have Dr. Kenny Anthony talking about anyway, let's go back to the letter. Let's go back to the letter. Additionally, I have seen no invitation to tender for the construction of the proposed building. It is my sincere hope that as a public authority, WASCO would abide by the laws which govern public procurement, and the building's construction will, in early course, be put out to tender so all contractors would have a fair opportunity to bid. Of course, I await details of how WASCO intends to finance the proposed building. I await details. Say, Minister, you better tell me. I am the big kahuna here. So let's go on. I know too that the proposed building will be constructed on the site selected by the previous government, that's his government he's talking about, before the last elections, to construct an administrative center for the use of my constituents in Vieux Fort South, and indeed the entire southern community. Construction of that facility had commenced, and the current government, within days of being elected, stopped its construction. You know, it's disingenuous, folks. It's disingenuous. When you give a little piece of the story, a little piece, but you don't give the whole thing. Ou just passer devant ne Saint-Lucie, ou ça? Just passer devant ne yo. Mon pas quitte yo, bien point l'ordre, puis c'est BS. You're not letting them get the good scent, a good enough scent of what you passing under their nose, because it's BS. I'm coming back to the details there, because this is at very best disingenuous. If it has not already done so, it will have to pay significant damages to the contractor who was engaged by the National Insurance Corporation, next slide, yes, of St. Lucia. I have no doubt that WASCO would have found an alternative site for its building, but instead chose to follow the lead of the government of St. Lucia and, like it, engage in a decision that is vindictive and provocative. I will not condone, finger wagging, I will not condone such action. I will have no part in such misbehavior. Oh, blah, Jay, Messi. Come back to me there. WASCO, the government of St. Lucia, and like it, I'm talking about WASCO, engage in a decision that is vindictive and provocative. How is building a WASCO Southern office provocative? Who is it provoking? How is it vindictive? I don't get that. I don't get it. But going back to the previous page, Dr. Kenny Anthony said, my investigations indicate that up to now there are no drawings, and additionally, I have seen no invitation to tender. Pay attention to this. Of course, I await details of how WASCO intends to finance the building. Dr. Kenny Anthony, by virtue of what he said here, knows nothing about what is going on. Pay attention, or he would have you believe he knows nothing. Let's go on, because we're going to come back to the action in a while. While I have absolutely no objections to WASCO providing its staff with decent accommodation, I find it strange that WASCO would choose to invest in a building at this time when the water supply to the Vieux Fort community needs urgent upgrading. I have no doubt that you are aware that whenever it rains, the water supply to certain parts of the constituency has to be shut down because of turbidity. The former government had signed an agreement with the Caribbean Development Bank in the amount of US 19 million plus to improve Vieux Fort's water supply to address that issue. This project would have finally resolved the problems of providing the people of Vieux Fort South with a safe and reliable supply of water. A public signing ceremony was held to announce this investment. WASCO was the designated executing agency of the project. After the general elections, the government of St. Lucia aided and abetted Utansa like a criminal enterprise. After the general elections, the government of St. Lucia, aided and abetted by WASCO's board of directors, terminated the agreement with the Caribbean Development Bank. Now he's talking about the agreement signed by his administration. Agreement. We come into that just now. Disingenuous. Moreover, despite the appearance of the line item in the estimates of expenditure and repeated statements by the responsible minister that the project exists, it is now nearly 4 years and there are no signs that the upgrade of the water supply is underway. Pay attention to that. I'll read that line again. Moreover, despite the appearance of the line item in the estimates of expenditure and repeated statements by the responsible minister that the project exists, it is now nearly 4 years and there are no signs that the upgrade of the water supply is underway. Now listen to this. Damning words. Last paragraph, last line of this letter. Kenny Anthony ends this letter with the most damning words. The people of Vieux Fort South are strong and resilient. Well, whoop-de-doo! After 20-something years of you, they must be strong. They must be strong. C'est bouglani che en fait, boudin wed. Bode. They understand full well. Listen to this. They, that's the people of Vieux Fort South, understand full well when their priorities for an improved quality of life are not the priorities of the government of St. Lucia and its agencies. Well, I would say that very much applies to, refers to, points a finger at you and your administration for all these years. What you called it in 1997 at that ceremony down there for the free zone? What you called it? The new frontier. Well, a new frontier of stray dogs, new frontier of unemployment, new frontier of minimal economic activity. Say it and so. But now is the role reversal. So now I will deal with this. Okay? First of all, folks, Dr. Kenny Anthony is the elected representative of Vieux Fort South. And it is the responsibility of all elected representatives, all parliamentarians, to be aware, to know what transpires on their job. Their job is in the House of Parliament. And it is their responsibility to pay attention. It is their responsibility to check the record. It is their responsibility to be there present. And if for some reason, si ou malade, if you had a date, for whatever reason you don't come, you don't show up, for whatever reason you fell asleep, for whatever reason you may have been watching your phone and WhatsApping somebody about something later, it is still your responsibility to know what goes on in the house, because that is your job. That is what you swore. to do. And if Dr. Kenny Anthony did not hear, if he was sleeping with his eyes wide open, if he was not in the house, it was his responsibility to, number one, go to his leader, Philip J. Pierre, leader of the opposition, and say, hey, boss, what they talk about there? They said anything pertaining to my, get the record, Hansard, the house, accurate record of what transpired, what was said. Ask a question before you pen such an elaborate letter, such a condemning letter. But I will show you that Dr. Kenny Anthony should have known. It was his responsibility to know, right? And it was his duty to have been appraised of in whatever way necessary before writing such a letter. Let us go to the House of Assembly, December the 10th, last year. Ezekiel Joseph, Minister for Agriculture.
So, Mr. Speaker, the privilege is mine to give an update to this Honorable House on one, the Beaufort Water Supply Redevelopment Project, and two, the John Compton Dam Rehabilitation Project, Mr. Speaker. Beaufort Water Supply Redevelopment Project. The last time I reported in this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker, I concluded my presentation with one, that we are targeting November 2019 to engage a contractor for that project, and two, for infrastructure work to start during the first quarter of 2020.
Pause that right there. Pause that right there. First quarter of 2020 to select a contractor. It was said in the House, was on GIS, it's on YouTube, it was on radio, TV. But Dr. Kenny Anthony is writing a letter today, well, not today, last week, 28th of January, just about 2 months later, saying he knows nothing about those things, that no information with any details. When the details were given there, where were you? Were you sleeping? Were you away? How could you not figure that before you write such a damning letter that you had to make sure what you were saying was accurate? Or could it be, like I've been saying here for so long, could it be that Dr. Kenny Anthony, could it be, just maybe, and his band of SLPers, as I've said before, and it just seems so, have absolutely no intention of accepting the facts because it does not suit their agenda, which is attacking the government at every possible instance. It proves it as far as I'm concerned, because here you have the evidence and it's like totally oblivious. He just dropped down from another planet. No intention to seek out, no intention to acknowledge any explanation, any information, any evidence. No, it's not true. Way. Let's go for this. Continue.
Mr. Speaker, I'm here to say that we are well within these targets. Out of the 4 firms that were shortlisted, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure you remember, we said that 8 firms did indicate their interest in wanting to undertake the Beaufort redevelopment project.
Let's pause there again. That's right. Remember him talking about putting out to tender and the process, and remember that? Remember that? Where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. I have seen no invitation to tender for the construction of the proposed building. Well, that's for the building. That's something else. But Dr. Kenny Anthony is feigning, is saying that he's ignorant of everything. What's going on? He's lost. He's in a daze. In a daze. But about the building that WASCO is putting up, we're going to come to that in a while. He's seen no information. Somebody's supposed to report to you. How don't you know? Did you ask previously? Is WASCO supposed to report to you, or they report to the board and the minister? I mean, tell me. Are you the PM who requires everything that's done to be reported to you? He doesn't know about the tendering process and everything, but we'll get to that. If you wanted to know, you would know. You don't want to know. Because if you can say you don't know, then you can criticize. But let's go on with Honorable Ezekiel Joseph.
They're shortlisted to 4 firms. And I want to report here today, Mr. Speaker, out of the 4 firms that were given the opportunity to bid, Vinci Construction Limited was the preferred firm. The original bid from Vinci, Mr. Speaker, was US $28,144,329. That's US dollars. As a result, Mr. Speaker, of negotiations with Vinci, that figure went down to $21,010,353 US dollars. Mr. Speaker, it would be interesting to note that the approved loan when we came in for infrastructure work for the Beaufort redevelopment project with the Caribbean Development Bank was $15,571,000 US dollars, which means, Mr. Speaker, we have a serious shortfall. And that was the money that was negotiated with the Caribbean Development Bank.
Listen well.
By those on the other side. In fact, remember they said we found money there, we found money there.
That's right.
But of course, Mr. Speaker, that loan was negotiated with the Caribbean Development Bank without any engineering advice.
Certainly.
What I was told by WASCO.
Yes, certainly.
Without any project proposal. I don't know where that figure came up, but the reality is that the preferred firm for that project for infrastructure work, Mr. Speaker, because remember I spoke about the level of consultancies that we have undertaken for the year. For infrastructure work is $21,010,353 US dollars. So as a result, Mr. Speaker, WASCO and the management decided to divide that project into 2 phases. Phase 1 of that project, Mr. Speaker.
Well, we won't even go any further with that phase 1 and phase 2. He's talking about the water project in the south. Now, Dr. Kenny Anthony did mention in his letter about there having been a previous loan and agreement. Well, I'll tell you about that. There was an agreement. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Absolutely correct. There was an agreement. But when the new administration came into office, what did they discover? Huh? There were no designs. There was no scope of works. There was no tendering, nada. So you have an agreement. Baikai just fet, Bokoi. Bokoi. So then an investigation into the matter with new experts indicate that was not properly put to the CDB. So the government or WASCO and government went back to the CDB and renegotiated the loan, resulting in a more comprehensive agreement to the tune of US 21 million. Say it and so. Say it and so. No drawings, nothing. Member Gaila with the office complex down there as if it was the holy grail, that it was, oh how dare you, it was holy ground. Holy ground that WASCO could now be occupying a part of the grounds that was left for this holy building, the office complex. But guess what? No DCA approval for that. Say it and so. No plans. Oh yeah. No plans. Until after elections. They try and but they say work had started already and all kind of things. But that's for something else. That's for something else. But there's other letters flying around here. Let me get through them there quickly. Right? WASCO writes a letter. Well, let's see here. Okay, that's the DCA. And here's WASCO. Attention, Mr. Clembob. Just to... Dear sir, the Board of Directors and Management of Water and Sewage Authority or Company are feverishly in preparatory mode for the groundbreaking ceremony of our Southern Office headquarters, which will be held on Thursday the 30th of January 2020 in Beanfield, New York, opposite Builder's Choice from 3 p.m. at lot number 143, which was donated by the government of St. Lucia. However, a full set of drawings will be submitted shortly to the DCA for approval, since preliminary design drawings have already been submitted. Notwithstanding, we would like to inform you and seek your permission to pitch a tent and other temporary structures on the building site to facilitate the ceremony, but will be demolished within 24 hours after the official ceremony. Thanking you in advance as we anticipate your kind assistance, Edmund Regis, General Manager. And here we have a letter from the DCA basically giving them approval to do that, to have the groundbreaking ceremony, pitch the tent festibaisa. No objection, nothing. So let's go now to Mr. Francis Denbo, who is the chairman on the WASCO board. Let's roll that video. Last week, Thursday.
First of all, I would like to adopt protocol already established.
I'm not
My
Francis
people of
Denbo,
Beaufort and all invited guests, we are gathered here today to undertake this ceremony to signal the start.
Want to start that over? Francis Denbo, chairman of the WASCO board. Okay, folks, we seem to be having a little live TV action there. Just let me know when Mr. Denbo is ready. Said you all haven't given him any dinner or queued him up properly, so we have a little freeze up. But nevertheless, folks, throughout the episodes of Keeping It Real, I have made it abundantly clear to you, and I think the SLP has made it abundantly clear to all St. Lucians, based on their actions, based on their words, based on everything coming out from their side of the fence, that they have absolutely no intention to accept the facts as they are with the government. They challenge the government about transparency, about accountability, when they themselves have been the most vague, and I will prove it to you tonight again. The most vague about what they did while in office. And it's important to say this. And it is important to say it over and over and over again, because the opposition insists on saying over and over and over again that this government is not transparent. And that is anything but the truth. Are we ready? Not yet. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back Back in a few. Thank you and welcome back, folks. We've got that sorted out now, and we have now the chairman of the WASCO board, Mr. Francis Denbo. Last week, Thursday, Viewfort, groundbreaking ceremony for the new office building in the south. Roll it.
First of all, I would like to adopt protocol already established. My people of Viewfort and all invited guests, we are gathered here today to undertake this ceremony to signal the start of construction of a two-story building which will be owned by WASCO. This is significant, as for over 50 years, WASCO has operated in Viewfort from leased premises at a number of different locations. Currently, WASCO operates its main southern administrative office on the ground floor of the Chitoli Mall and has been at that location for a number of years. This WASCO office provides administrative support for its operations from Canaries, Soufrière, Choiseul, Laborie, Viewfort, Meekwood, and Dennery. Our main corporate office in Castries heads the entire operations. For some time now, we have been contemplating constructing our own office building in Viewfort. This is to provide a permanent location to effectively deliver our services to our increasing number of clients, as well as to provide adequate and comfortable space for our staff. Consequently, we approach our line minister, Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, and Prime Minister Alan Chasney for a suitable location to construct this office building. Cabinet rapidly processed our request and kindly donated this parcel of land of just over 1 acre for this undertaking. WASCO wishes to thank the ministers of this government for their quick response and generous donation. As can be clearly seen from the artist's impression on the banner just behind me, the office building will be impressive, and the site is a perfect location at the very entrance of the town of Viewfort to display its prominence. It will be 10,000 square feet, two-story, reinforced concrete building with a hurricane impact resistant glass facade and exterior walls, and with the customer service area being very pleasant with a vaulted ceiling space. The WASCO customer will be very happy to come and pay their bills, and WASCO will welcome them too. It will no doubt enhance upon the landscape and provide an ambience and environment to comfortably deliver services to all.
Okay, I think what he's saying there is very clear. Do I need to repeat? Do I need to say anything else about that? So let's have a look at what the artist rendering is of the WASCO building in Viewfort. This is what it's going to look like, folks. This is what it's going to look like. And of course, the sod turning ceremony, we have the officials. If we go to the next slide, Prime Minister Alan Chasney, Chairman of WASCO, Minister Ezekiel Joseph, the Mayor of Viewfort, Mr. Sorisha Denbo Bullen, and of course, Mr. Edmonds, who is the manager, General Manager, Edmund Regis at WASCO. So, let's go to the next clip. Let's just go to the next clip. It's a little short. Let me let you see that for yourself. Next clip.
For the building was done by a Viewfort-based engineering company, Danion Consulting Engineers, which is owned by a Viewfortian, Mr. Eglan Flavia. The winning contractor also hails from Viewfort and emerged as a successful bidder from a tender process against 3 other tenderers. Construction on the ground should commence by late February or early March, when all preparations are in place and all the final approvals are met.
But in the second paragraph, Dr. Kenny Anthony's letter says, my investigations indicate that up to the present time, no drawings have been submitted to the DCA of the proposed building. In effect, you have invited me to an event to construct a building for which no approved plans or drawings are available. It is deeply troubling and regrettable that WASCO has chosen to emulate blah 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 blah. I have seen no invitation to tender for the construction of the proposed building. Said right there. My investigations. Which investigations? Kikote will investigate. Who you ask? Who you ask? Because clearly, should I continue with any more of this? You know? Because this here, folks, this is nothing less, because this is just a whole charade. To be flushed! Flushed! Et pas même bien. T'as déchiré. Flushed. Waste of time. Waste of space. You see? Bêtise. So waste of time. Insult intelligence. It's a kakal bas qui a tête sainte lycée. Ignorant, Lucian's ignorant, so you have to pass off that thing there. And if I had it another time, there's still some more left there. Flush all away. Right, down the drain, man. Bêtise. Now, let's hear again from Mr. Denbo. Folks, I am being deliberate about this tonight, because I think it was a calculated effort to mama guy, to BS, to use the 3Bs principle on the people of St. Lucia. And it is time this foolishness stops. Let's roll the next clip of the chairman of WASCO's board, Mr.
By
Francis
mid-February of this year, we will have the sod-turning ceremony to commence the mother of all water projects ever to be undertaken in the south of this country. A contract in the sum of $14.1 million, or EC 38 million, has just been signed for this phase 1 of the project with Vinci Construction Grand Projects of France, the second largest construction company in the world. Phase 2 will cost a further $7 million or 19 million EC dollars in furtherance of this project. So a total of $57 million will be spent in the upgrading of the water supply infrastructure for Vieux Fort. But not only for Vieux Fort Town and La Richuse and La Tournée and Diamond, but for Labrie, Grace and Auger too. Under this project, WASCO will build two state-of-the-art treatment plants, one in Beauséjour and the other in Grace Vieux Fort. WASCO will construct 5 new storage tanks at Grace, Beauséjour, La Tournée and Labrie, as well as to install 4.5 kilometers of new pipeline from Labrie to Auger to Beauséjour to Binfield. The current treatment plant at Beauséjour was built during World War II, during the occupation by the Americans, and has been upgraded over the years but has served its useful life. This 18-month project, when completed, will see a great improvement in the water distribution in Vieux Fort. Presently, the existing treatment plant treats 1.4 million gallons of water per day. When this project is completed, 2.5 million gallons of water will be distributed to meet the needs well into the future. We have also completed major upgrades at the Tibbles treatment plant in Cicero and removed and replaced with a single.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough on that one. That's enough. I think the gist of it all is there. The facts are there. So there's no mystery about what's going on. Dr. Kenny Anthony is in La La Land. La La Land. But just to take a little jab, because it's so ridiculous, the comments that are being made about no this year approval for this and that. Let's hear what the chairman again said. Just a few seconds.
I also have the DCA approval, granting us approval to conduct the groundbreaking ceremony. Okay, thank you.
And of course you hear the laughter of the crowd, because people are so amused by the foolishness now. I mean, it's a running joke that foolishness like this will come out from the other side, and it will be so easily proven to be false. But I have it here too. Millie. Wait. Millie. Do you have that there? Show it, show them. Show it to them. Okay, well, that's taking a little time. Wait, Millie, wait. Scroll down for the people to see. I tell you all already, that's right, it's lit. Some people need to see properly. Right. Okay, that's enough. We don't need to get into that. But of course, you know, when we look at projects that this government or agencies undertake, we left to see the granddaddy of all mess-ups. The granddaddy of all mess-ups. And here's the accusations about you don't have this, you don't have approval for that, you don't have this, and all kind of thing. And right away, being in the South for this thing, you think automatically, right away, almost immediately, St. Jude's. But let's hear what Dr. Kenny Anthony himself, you know, it only occurred to me whilst I was preparing for the show.
Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony addressed the issue of costs, noting that the initial estimates for construction and equipment acquisition were being exceeded, but that this was an investment that needed to be made.
I mean, there was talk initially of a hospital being constructed at 30 million. It's now in the vicinity of 47 million. I think by completion it's going to be about 60 million. You know what? I think it's going to be money well spent, because you're going to have, as I said, a new hospital, increased facilities, brand new facilities, equipment that we never had before here at St. Jude.
You know, just a joke. What really occurred to me, and I haven't heard too many people talk about that St. Jude's Hospital was one of the biggest cost overrun projects we have had in St. Lucia. Cost overrun. You heard Dr. Kenny Anthony himself, but listen to how he justifies it, you know. $30 million, 40, 60, but by the end of it, 90 million, however, it has been proven that it's over 100 and something million, right? 130 something million. But you know what? By the end of it all, it would have been worth it. We'll have a state of the art. So it don't matter how much the cost overrun is. It does not matter how bad the cost overrun is. We will have a hospital, a state of the art hospital. If it costs 200 million, by golly gee, we're gonna have a hospital. Don't worry about how much it costs. Shamelessly saying that, you know. Well, it started off at 20 something, 30, 40, 60 million. But you know what? At the end of it all, glossing over all the money that's going down the drain. Where the money gone? Where it gone? That's why it is. I don't know where that bank is, what street it's on, how you get inside that bank. But that's where the money gone apparently. I don't know. I'm just asking. But talking about St. Jude's, remember I promised you all, I will always keep you updated every Tuesday. Now, Baui, because it's endless fake news and propaganda, kakaganda about St. Jude's. You ready for me? Yes, you're ready. I know you're ready. I know you're all ready too. I told you last week that they were getting ready to pour first floor. That construction was going at a feverish pace. and people had been bombarding me. Give me the updates. We want the listen, people love those updates because it's countering all the lies and people can see for themselves. Because most people don't pass around St. Jude's. Most people in St. Lucia, that's out of the way. They don't see it. So they rely on keeping it real, because we keep it real around here. Let's roll the photos. Folks, let's see. Let the people of St. Lucia see. Next one. There you go, folks. All set up to pour the concrete. Let's go. Next photo. Quite a few. Majros have. This is not the past, this is the present. This is how you do a project. The hardest working construction workers in St. Lucia right now, these men and women down there working on that site. They're working hard day and night. Day and night. Gas steel killer. Men of steel, supermen. Working hard for St. Lucia. These guys should be given a medal, because that is how you build a hospital. Not that papi show that was going on there for how long. On time and within budget, ukaiwe, as the projects of this government has shown. Look at these fellas there. Do yo ka fe yo mal me yo ka travay. Gayo. Nan jikni a book sufuyela. Waway. I'm giving it to you from all angles. On top. Go on top la. More with it on top. All the metal, everything tied in place. See, maka desan la. Whoosh. That's right, folks. Next angle. You see the big empty warehouse at the back there? And they had stuff in warehouses all over the place. Next angle. The people want to see St. Jude's. Let them see. Open your eyes and see, folks. Open your eyes and see. And I will be sending out all of those pictures. Later tonight or tomorrow. You can send it to all your friends all over who want to know what's going on with St. Jude's. Let's see the next one. Top shot. I want the top shot. Allez. Some people prefer the top shots. Let's see it from the top. Some prefer the side shots. Some prefer the back shots. Let's see some from the back shot side. Bayoy. I want from on top. Adamun Sime Allez. Bayoy. Give it to them. I'm giving you everything. Don't go too fast. Let the people of St. Lucia see the times the men are working on site there. Oh, swear. Look at that. La jikni light. Uway. Night time. See, maka ali. V-Day. Let's go. That's right, folks. I'm giving you the big shot just now. See for yourself. No fluff, no bluff. They can't test us right here. Can't test keeping it real. Where have you seen those before? Right here. Hey, now we're going high now on top. There you go. Look at that, folks. No jikni drone. Don't go too fast with those there. You get a bird's eye view. Okay? Gasa. You see that? Gasa. You see where a little bit towards the center of that photo there on the right. You see the part that has already been cast, cement. Further up, it's getting ready. You see that? Look at that. That's the side shot. Boom! Next one. There you go, folks. There you go. You see that? See, Mahavide, by her wed. I wedi? Fair eczema. Hard. Look at that. Coming soon this week. Look at that. Work is rolling down there. Say it and so. There's no Mickey Mouse thing going on here. That's how you build a hospital. You see that? Hold that shot. Hold that right there. I want them to get all. Give them all. That's right. You see it, folks? You can see what's going on, what's left to be done. Right? All of this work there. November, so what? 2 months, right? November to now, 2 months. You see what has gone on there? And now that the pillars have been done, to avaika ule. To avaika ule. That's... I told you. I'm going to keep you updated to what's happening at St. Jude's. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, folks, from the break. I've gotten so many messages here about, well, with viewers so enraged, annoyed at the shenanigans, and about DCA approvals, about how there always seems to be some conflict, some accusation of the government not doing this right, of booths at Babono in Ezekiel, Joseph's constituency, that there was no DCA approval, and lo and behold, there was. Things being done with no approvals, with no plans. You know, the same brain boxes who cannot succeed at anything, who cannot finish a project on time, within budget. There's always cost overruns, kalti twaka. Can't get anything right, but want to give advice, want to make demands of the government. You do it like this, you must be nuts to follow any such advice from anyone. I don't know. But you know what, folks? Tonight, we're going to open the lines. That's right. You've been crying to give your piece. So tonight, St. Jude's and the WASCO, because a lot of things happen, is the government's forward thinking. Because if you're going to make Viewfort and the South the new frontier, or fast forwarding into the future, or being a little more modern or recent, the Pearl of the Caribbean. Oh my gosh! Oh, how dare you say that? Oh, some people almost fainted hearing that Pearl of the Caribbean thing there. Oh no! But to have hotels in the South, to increase economic activity, to have hotels, business, cruise ship port, larger airport, more people, those who moved up to the north will be moving back, people will be moving. Nightclubs to Kalte Bagay. You're going to need more water. 20 years, nothing was done. You claim you signed an agreement, you didn't do anything with it, you had no plans. You had no nada. 450-0777. And if you want to email, that's right, folks. Don't email to it. info@keepingitreal.lc. Now, those of you who don't want your voice on, email me tonight. It's not my cell phone. Email info@keepingitreal.lc. Telephone 450-0777. Call us now. The lines are wide open. Some people were crying last week they couldn't get in. And I just heard that the internet, Facebook, is back up. I know we're going to have a refund tonight, right? I don't see no chicken there with my name on the box. Give us a call, folks. Don't be shy. WASCO and a lot of developments in the South. But what everybody is so excited about, I sent out 2 photos today of the works at St. Jude's, and people are over the moon with what they're seeing. Proper planning. That's right. Proper planning with a purpose. Going ahead. No Mickey Mouse business. No cost overruns. And somebody says, give them half an hour to call in. Well, it's your time now, folks. It's your time. But getting to that, the coronavirus thing. Folks, come on. We've had Zika. We have had the flu. From the time you were born, there's been the flu. SARS. Tut kalte bagay. And the practices that we know that we must engage in to prevent or to avoid the spread of these diseases. Wash your hands. Cover your nose if you're sneezing. stay away from work, stay away from school, stay away from others if you have the flu. I mean, the time with this foolishness, people say, hey, touch you too, yeah. Foolishness like that doesn't work. Oh, the government will tell us. Come on! You know what you have to do? I mean, it's like, same thing, you know, like every year with the hurricane season. Like, oh, the government has said this. You don't know what you need to do? You don't know you need to clear your drains? Don't you know that you need to stock up on supplies? Dry biscuits, tin foods, canned stuff. Huh? You don't know that? The government needs to tell you that, or NEMO, or whatever agency needs to tell you that every year. The government needs to tell you need soap to bathe too. I mean, let's keep it real. Come on. Government needs to tell you every year that you need to have a flashlight or a little radio or something so you could listen to what's going on. Charge your batteries on your phone. Put fuel in your car. I mean, this is something we've heard from the time we've been born. Every year. Every single year. But today is well. Let me just go back there a little bit. Let me do some maths here for you folks, and we can see with the increase in tourism numbers and our capacity to process bigger airport, advertise more, promote St. Lucia more. Our brand ambassadors are having people come to St. Lucia because of what they do, the attraction. It's not only the pitons, it's the people too. We always say that St. Lucians are so hospitable. All that we have in St. Lucia. So let us create a brand. It's brand St. Lucia. Look at, you know, the other island of there, JA. Music, athletes. You think those things are accidents? We must be concerned, we must be dedicated as a people to work towards branding St. Lucia. We must do that. So our brand ambassadors are all in the big scheme of things to enhance St. Lucia's image. So I was doing a little bit of maths there, and somebody mentioned to me a little bit of math. Okay? Last week or week before, now just as the numbers, we're not looking at what they spend, just the numbers on arrivals. There were 3 or 4 cruise ships in the Castries Harbor. And somebody said, out of all of those ships coming into, because whether you come on the ship, stay on the ship, you come off or whatever. Hey, we have a call. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
I'm calling to ask you a few questions. One is, when is the new airport terminal starting? And 2, do we have any direct flights from China coming to St. Lucia?
Well, I'll answer your last question first. We have no direct flights from China.
Exactly.
Right.
So if a Chinese man is coming into St. Lucia, he would go through the screening in America, in England, in Europe. So why do we have to, the government just release something they're saying where they disconnect we have no flight, no connection with China. Chinese don't believe China to come to St. Lucia. I think the government is bowing under the pressure of the SLP. Yeah, because we don't have any flights coming from China. If a Chinaman is coming here...
What pressure from the SLP?
You know about coronavirus and...
Coronavirus is a serious thing.
Yes, I understand
the
that.
The government has to... What other countries have done and what St. Lucia is doing as well, and it's not any...
I understand what they have done, so I'm saying I don't see the merit, because no Chinese would come into St. Lucia from China.
Well,
They have to come from
hold on, caller. Let me clarify something for you. The government has not issued any statement or taken any policy against Chinese. What the government has said is that if you have traveled through China or in China, coming to St. Lucia, you don't have to be coming directly to St. Lucia. You could be in the States for 7 days and coming to St. Lucia as a Martian, as another alien. That if within the past 14 days you were in China, you would not be entering St. Lucia.
But if you had been in China for the last 14 days and you had arrived in America, you'd be quarantined.
Caller, it doesn't make any difference whether what would happen over there. This is the policy in St. Lucia.
I know, but I'm saying I just don't see the merit, because any Chinaman coming there would have gone through the screening process.
Are you absolutely certain of that? That if you had been in China, that all of them would be quarantined in the U.S.?
Yes, of course. That is the policy in America right now. Anybody coming from the Commonwealth, the province, wherever they say, you have to be quarantined for 14 days.
But caller, nevertheless, you still have to put measures in place.
Okay, let's not argue that. But on my first question, the people want to see the start of the airport. Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, a statement was just made last week, I believe, or something, that the end of March would see the commencement of works at the airport.
The end of March?
Yes.
Okay, March can't come too soon.
Well, for me too, I want to see that airport. Let me tell you, caller, it's a nightmare for me, as I'm sure it is for all St. Lucians, coming into Huonora at peak time.
Let me tell you, there are only 10 seats at the airport.
There are only what?
10 seats.
What do you mean?
Chairs where people can sit. 10.
10 seats?
Yeah, 10 chairs where people can sit down.
Where is that?
At Huonora Airport.
What part of the airport?
The departure.
There are only 10 seats in the departure hall?
Yeah, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
You sure of that? When did you see that?
On Sunday.
You saw that on Sunday?
Yeah. If it's not 20, I counted 10, and there's not 20 in an international airport.
Okay, I'll look into that and I'll report back next week.
All right.
10 chairs.
I'll
Thank you very much for
accountable.
calling, sir.
All right.
Okay, have a nice night. That's right. Thank you for keeping it real. Maybe somebody at Huonora who goes through there or who works there can give us a call, 450-0777. Champagne, you out there? Let's know what's going on with the chairs at the airport. So, folks, as I was saying, 4 cruise ships in port, right? Okay, somebody just sent me a message and said that is not true about the seats. So, I find that a little hard to believe, but it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why that would be allowed to happen. It just sounds strange. But somebody who works at the airport, Champagne, give me a call. Good night, you're on the air, let's keep it real.
Yes, sir, good night.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air, let's keep it real.
Yeah, the information the gentleman gives there is false.
Well, slow down, caller, I can't hear what you're saying. Say that again?
The information that the gentleman gives there is false.
It's false. Have you been at the airport recently? Departures, that at Huonora.
We're talking about departures.
Well, the departure area, when you go through security and you go inside, I find that very strange.
That's right. That's right. They have a whole heap of a number of chairs inside here.
Yeah.
So I would guess I can tell you that. That's all right.
You know, I don't know why anybody would get rid of the chairs in there. You know.
Where they have minimal chairs are outside.
Right, that's right.
By the check-in area.
Right, that's true. That's most airports are like that.
Exactly. So I don't see what you're talking about.
Okay. Well,
if
thank
you
you.
want to criticize something constructively.
Yeah. Thank you.
But that ain't making sense.
You want to make any comment about what we discussed here tonight?
No, I was not watching the show. I just came in.
You just came in. Oh, shame on you. You got to catch the show, folks.
Yeah,
if
man.
You're coming in now and you miss it Sundays, 4 p.m. right here.
Okay, cool, man. No problem.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Right,
thank
cool.
you very much for keeping it real.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was saying, 4 cruise ships in port, and it was said that of those 4 cruise ships, there was something about 14. Let's just say 14,000. I'm not going to give you 14,225. 14,000 Okay, somebody says that the guy was referring to the ticket counter, but he said inside in departures. But nevertheless, let me clarify something. At all airports, at the check-in counters and in that area there are minimal seats because people are just going through, checking in, and then going into security and into the departure lounge. I find it very strange that there are only 10 seats when you would have hundreds of people in there. But nevertheless, we have a call. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Good night, man. What's up, buddy?
Yay, good night. How are you doing, sir? Thanks for calling in.
Let me tell you, man. I just got you on Facebook, you know, man.
Yes.
Having a problem.
We have some internet issues tonight, but we're glad that you're on. So, what do you have to say about what we discussed there tonight?
I hardly heard anything, man.
Oh, you hardly heard anything? Well, this guy was talking about the airport. So, I don't know. I will have to find out. I did get a message from an authoritative source that I won't say the name, and I was told that that is not the case. I find it very strange to believe.
I'll tell you something, man. Bottom line is this here. The SLPs are just damn wicked, okay? Bottom line. Okay? They're just damn wicked. Tell them call in and challenge Alan Shastri and his dream team and A team. Tell them to call in and challenge him. They can't win that, Alan. They cannot. All they're talking a lot of dumb nonsense. I have no facts to back it up. They're a bunch of losers. Okay? The man is taking us to new heights.
Well, caller, I can agree with you. The heights, new heights, is certainly the perfect description of the nonsense that we have seen since the last elections. It is incredible, the propaganda, the lies, the misinformation that has been put out there unceasingly against the government. It doesn't matter what is done. If Alan Shastri or the government say the sky is blue, they say no, it's green. Whatever is done, and too many times, this is the irony, this is the comical part of it all. All the criticisms that are laid against this current administration, the simplest investigation into any of those accusations shows that the former administration, the SLP, did the same thing. So, as I have said here, one thing when they're in government, another set of rules when they're out. And this is the incredible thing. This letter from Dr. Kenny Anthony there tonight is an example of that. You still there, caller?
I realize, I tell you what, I know what them. Yeah. The leaders are very, very cunning. Very, very cunning. They could tell you, they could do the worst thing in the world and they could believe it's you that do it. That's how cunning they are.
It's just the misinformation, caller. Misinformation. Thank you very much for calling. Thanks for keeping it real.
Okay, bye.
All right. So, 14,000 passengers on 4 cruise ships. Now, $25, that's US dollars. Multiply that by 25. You get what? 350,000 US dollars. US dollars, you know. And multiply that by 2.5. Let's just say 2.5. $875,000 for cruise ships in the harbor. We have another call. Good night. Let's keep it real. You hung up. Couldn't stay on anymore. $875,000. So the more tourists we get coming in, the more cruise ships we get coming in, more money St. Lucia makes. Better for everyone. Now imagine 4 cruise ships in Castries, and we have a cruise ship port in Viewfort for the mega cruise ships. Think about it that way. Anytime you see a cruise ship in port, St. Lucia is doing good. St. Lucia is doing good. Things again. We're moving steadily, you know, along the way. 450-0777. And email info@keepingitreal.lc. I have a comment here. I won't read this one. Well, I won't say those things about Dr. Kenny Anthony. 450-0777. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Please turn down your device. Caller.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just calling to clarify about the departure lounge.
Yes.
And the check-in area. I think the guy is talking about
the check-in.
The departure lounge. Because after check-in, they have about 16 chairs. 4 sets of 4. 4 sets of 4. He's not talking about inside the departure lounge.
He's talking about the ticketing area where you check in.
Yeah, because I'm a red cap. That's where we all.
Okay. Right.
So about 4 sets of chairs, about 16 chairs.
Right.
4 sets of 4.
Right.
But he's not talking about I don't think he's talking about the departure lounge inside.
Right.
No.
Okay.
There are much more chairs inside. But I think he's wrong after check-in.
Yeah.
4 sets of 4.
Okay.
So there is 16 chairs.
Okay. Right. Thank you for clarifying that, caller.
There's a red cap calling right there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this is not anything unusual. Where you check in, you go with your bags, your tickets, they weigh your bags and everything. All airports around the world, there's minimal seating in those areas because it's keep it moving. Least bit of obstruction. You travel about the place, you'll see that all over. I find it very strange to believe that there's no seating on the inside where you're waiting for your flight, where you have all the duty-free shops and the restaurant and everything. It's a little strange to me. 450-0777. We still have about half an hour to go. 5 minutes. We don't have 5 minutes, man. What are you talking about? About half an hour left there tonight. Folks, I keep trying to get extra time, but for those of you who are getting messages from your friends online, we have another call. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good night.
Good night. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Great.
I think you are doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I was very pleased with the information.
Thank you. How long have you been watching the show?
It's a couple of months now.
Couple of months.
Yes.
Good. And
Because
first time
before-
calling in, eh?
Yes. Because before I used to hear things and I was wondering whether it was true or not. But right now, I can answer. If somebody says something, I have enough information that I can correct them.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much.
So continue the good work.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. And what part of St. Lucia are you calling from?
Miku.
You're calling from Lukliks?
Yeah, Mikud.
From Mikud.
Yeah.
Miku. Thank you very much, caller. Keep watching, okay?
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Keep
Have
up
a
the
good night.
work.
Thank you.
Bye.
Keep it real. It's another satisfied viewer of keeping it real all the way down in Miku. That's right. So anyway, I was talking about the airport. I don't know. I find it very strange. But, of course, we'll get more information about that. I will look into it tomorrow. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, my brother, how are you doing?
Good night. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, now first things first. The lady from Migo said
Hello?
Said you're doing such a fine job, but I think you're the only person, the only talk show right now that brings out the evidence and show it online. That is, you show what he said, you show the evidence, and nobody cannot complain. They cannot say what he's saying is not true because you bring it straight.
I do my best, caller.
It is right there. So everything you have your backup, so they cannot take it to court. All of them are talking, they're just talking. This is not a talk show you have. This is an educational show. And that's the way we move in. That's the way Flabos go. You have to see what is going on. And we have it to prove to them. To tell them, I say, when they come, we have the evidence to prove. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling. Folks, like I say around here, keep it real. Real. I don't come up here with a wheelbarrow of documents and do all of this research for good looks. Ma Jebel, so I have to make up with the documents. And I don't fabricate anything. I tell you where I get the information. I show it to you. You can check for yourself. It's online. I give you the link. I show you the page. You see what I see. I give my analysis of the paralysis, and you are free to analyze the same information that I look at. But you know what? At the end of the day, we all Lucians. We all live here. We don't have to get vexed. Nice mug. Nice colors. I think so. Somebody might prefer it in black. Does that mean we can't get along? Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, sir.
Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Okay, turn down your device, your TV or your computer a bit there, please.
Okay. No problem.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. What I want to talk about.
Yes.
Is that I want to know why the former Prime Minister turned down the invitation.
On false premises, eh?
Now, is he doing that because he wants to prove that he doesn't want to support anything that is out of the way, or what message are you sending to his own constituency?
Well, caller, your guess is as good as mine, but I will not answer for Dr. Kenny Anthony. He has a constituency office, and I'm sure St. Lucians being who they are, you wouldn't have to try too hard to get his number and ask him that very question. But, you know, modus operandi, like I said, there's a pattern of behavior. And the only conclusion I can come to is that it's too embarrassing to see where he failed at delivering at so many things in St. Lucia is now being completed or now being moved on by this administration. That's what I think it is, Ehot.
And not only that, you know, the things that are happening is happening in the south.
Yeah.
Down in the south.
So why it couldn't happen before?
You understand? I mean, solutions. Let us open our eyes. Let us see the men and women that wants to bring this country forward. Because we need work, we need development. Come on, man. Let's move forward. Let's not let politicians try to keep us behind because of. And they have something saying, they love the country. They love the country. Some of these men love their party and their pocket. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for keeping it real. I have a little an email here, and somebody went into quite a bit of detail about something that went on some other talk show and about a minister of government, and it says that all how things are proven otherwise. They say Isa plewe kon kikaipan St. Lucians are hearing but not listening to you. And I guess that's going out to you know who. If it fall in your plate, you take it. How many more minutes we have? Half an hour? Well, last caller. Okay, we're going to take one last call now, folks. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good evening, Mr. Williams. How are you?
Good evening. Fine, thank you.
I'm just calling to tell you, Mr. Williams, that you're doing a brilliant job on that show.
Thank you so much.
Because information that we never had as the public, you're actually providing us with that vital information. For years, the Labour Party misled this country. And we didn't have somebody to come out and give us the facts, to come and clear the air on certain matters. And I have to say kudos to you. You're doing a brilliant job on this show.
Thank you
You're
very much.
coming with the facts.
Thank you, caller.
And that's a lot of things that St. Lucia Labour Party do not have. They don't have the facts, and all they do is just mislead the people.
You're so right. You're so right. But
do have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. The intention here is to provide you with the information, with the evidence that you can evaluate yourself. The same source that I got the information from, you have it. Look at it for yourself, evaluate and analyze. Do your own analysis of the paralysis. Differing opinions, that's okay. Anyway, that's it. I'm going home. You have chicken for me there tonight? No juice, nothing? Folks, look at this. Nada. Y'all in trouble with me tonight. But anyway, folks, another episode of Keeping It Real. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Want to say thank you so much. We had a little problem with the internet tonight. I'm going to put the show up tomorrow on the Keeping It Real Facebook page. So those of you who had your friends call and say they couldn't have seen the show from the beginning, refer them to the page. It'll be on tomorrow by about midday, mid-afternoon. That's it. Another night. Thank you, folks. I hope you paid quite close attention to the information provided here tonight. If you missed it or you want to go over it again, you can check it out online tomorrow or Sunday 4 p.m. right here on Hot 7 TV. Another episode of Keeping It Real. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Norbert Williams. Good night.